It's a light crowd today. Yeah, look, I'll just start off by saying, after going back and looking at the tape, I think it was the most complete game that we've played up to this point. I thought we did some really good things, both offensively, defensively, in the kicking game. I think, that was a game that we needed. We needed to play well. I thought our guys answered the bell and responded, and now now the goal is to try to duplicate that and move on to Baltimore and get ready to try to win another game.
I think you and a couple of players used the term swagger last week, getting back your swagger. DeMario said the way you do that is with your focus during the week. Did you sense stuff during the week that told you they were getting ready to play a better game?
Yeah. I felt like we had a good week of practice. I felt like our guys were locked into the plan. There's a fine line. I think our guys are always conscious and focused in on getting themselves ready to play, but yet, there's that 1 degree, where it makes the difference between winning and losing. I thought our guys had that last degree this past week.
And so when you're looking at some of your improved offensive production, how big a role has the offensive line played in that, whether it's just keeping Andy upright or creating the holes for the guys?
Yeah, look, I huge. It's hard to run the ball the way we've been able to run the ball unless your offensive line is playing effectively. There's a lot of elements that go into it, but I do think that our offensive line has been playing pretty well. We've done a pretty good job of run block, and we've done a pretty good job of protecting for the quarterback. And I just feel like, generally when you're in a little bit of a groove offensively, all those things kind of start up front. No different than defensively. When we get in a groove defensively, it's generally led by the way that our front plays. So it's really how our team's kind of been built, along both lines of scrimmage. And I thought both sides, affected the game yesterday.
Speaking of that defensive front, was sort of the inconsistent performance against the run early this season, was that one of the bigger head scratchers, since that was a group that hadn't really been affected by injuries or personnel changes? And what led to kind of the improved play?
Well, look, what led to the improved play is I think I feel like we had a couple of days to kind of get refreshed a little bit, and I think we played with better pad level. I think our fundamentals and technique were better in this game. So you asked me about a head scratcher in terms of, run defense. Yeah, certainly. I don't think that we stopped the run as well up front, as we have in years past. And then I think some of the, leaky yardage and tackling, affected that too. So, but really the focus is to try to continue to improve and to continue to get better. I thought we did that this past week, and, hopefully we'll be able to continue to do that.
And does Baltimore present as much of a run defense challenge as any team you've come across?
That sounds like a little bit of a sarcastic question.
Well, no,
But yeah,
I mean,
like just watch them, I don't know what it was that they ran for the other night, but I got a chance to see just a little bit of that, and I think they are and they have been one of the better running football teams in our league, and I think the element of the quarterback makes it even that much more challenging.
what is it about teams with running quarterbacks that not only present the challenge that the running quarterback himself presents, but obviously when you face Philadelphia, Miles Sanders had big days. When you faced Atlanta, Cordero Patterson had big days.
Well, and really when you, like all these teams that you're talking about, we're not the only people that have had challenges with those teams, and here's what it is, that like when the quarterback can run the football effectively, look, we see the same thing, right? Like every week I get asked questions about Taysom Hill, and why is that so effective? And because when the guy that's standing back there with the ball, when he can run the football, it makes it challenging because you're usually putting somebody in some sort of a two-gap conflict. And so that's what makes it so challenging. Whether you're, crashing down with an end and trying to come back with a linebacker, or whether you're, having an end, play cut back end quarterback. I mean, there's a lot of different elements that go along to that. And usually these teams that run this type of offense, they're usually putting, two elements on one player, and that's what makes it challenging.
With your background as a defensive coordinator too, how difficult is it to complete a shutout?
Yeah, it's hard. I think I've been a part of 3 of them here since 17. But I don't know how many I've been a part of throughout my career. It hadn't been a lot. It's just hard in this league to keep somebody from scoring any points, whether it be a field goal or a touchdown. And you don't see many of them throughout the league in any given season. And so I think it's pretty impressive when you're able to come up with one.
Dennis, is Tyron making plays in the second year? Is it kind of what you've been waiting on? We kind of were anticipating out of him.
Yeah, look, I mean, he's been a hell of a playmaker in our league for a long time, and certainly there were some opportunities there in that game. He had the deflection for an interception. He almost came up with one at the end of the game, which I thought was a pretty impressive play. I thought his tackling was really good in this game, and that's an area that we've kind of talked about where we've got to improve, and I thought he improved in that area. So, look, it's a step forward in the right direction for a lot of guys, and look, I thought it was a good performance by him.
And then it seemed like, Mario said you guys were ready for that big punt. Just like a look that kind of keyed you guys off of that.
Well, look, it's the same look that we got earlier, in the game. May have been the first punt of the game, I think it was, and we were in a normal punt return grouping out there on the field, and then the second time we were in more of a defensive safe alignment. But that was a look that we had practiced and paid attention to, and knew that they had the opportunity to potentially try a fake out of that look.
Taylor and Debo.
I thought they did pretty well. I thought they challenged in coverage. Look, when we've been at our best, we've been that way because we've been able to win the line of scrimmage, and we've challenged in coverage. And I thought both of those guys did that all game long. And against, an offense that had been moving the ball pretty well, against an offense that had been scoring a lot of points, and probably one of the premier receivers in our league. And so I thought that was impressive to see our guys go up and challenge the way they did.
Let's just talk about Alontae Taylor and Paulson Debo. Yesterday, Cliff Harris Jr. also caught my eye. Talk to me a little bit about his play.
Yeah, look, again, Chris is another one of those guys that he's made a lot of plays in our league. And I thought he stepped up and did some really good things. I thought he was another guy that I thought his tackling was really good in the game. I think he's was involved in that in the fake punt, making the stop there. And so I just think some of these guys with a veteran presence that have been there, done that. I think you need some of that to kind of lead you in times where maybe you're not performing as well as you think you're capable of. And I thought some of those guys really did a nice job of stepping up.
He's a second-round pick, so maybe the answer is obvious. But when you drafted Taylor, do you have more of a long-term vision for him, or has he surprised you with how fast he seemed to come along, especially coming off that injury?
Well, I think that's probably the bigger, kind of statement, I guess, is that, how well he's responded coming off the injury. And he missed some time in training camp. He missed some time during the season. And so for him to, go out and play the way that he's been playing, with what's still, in my mind, is limited opportunities and limited reps, I think has been impressive. And yeah, look, we felt like, there was a vision for him, within our scheme and the way that he likes to play, and certainly felt like he fit what we wanted to do.
Dennis, it's been a while since we asked you about it, but is Trevor Penning anywhere close to return?
Yeah, look, he's out of the boot now. He's started, with some cardio stuff and on the treadmill and things of that nature. So, yeah, he's progressing.
There's a report that Mark Ingram has an MCL issue. Is he a guy that might end up on IR?
I don't think I'm going to get into that, but I'll confirm that he does have an MCL.
Now you've gotten to see tape and everything when you went into the game. Is there more that has stood out to you about Peyton Turner than what we asked you about last night or yesterday?
No, look, I think it's the most complete game he's played since he's been here. And there was a lot of encouraging things to see, and you saw a lot of the things that, attracted to us, us to him in the draft. Now the question is, and really what he needs to do is give us that consistently. And he's perfectly capable of doing it. And so that's really the next stage in his development is, it's kind of like the guy that can jump up and make the splash plays that you see all the time, and everybody gets excited about the splash plays, but, the other plays in the game you didn't feel like were very effective. So this was a game where I felt like, man, he played really well in this game. I want to see him do it consistently, and I think that's the key.
I have to ask this with the trade deadline coming up, although I expect a certain answer, but are you guys going to be active at all? Are you looking to add to the team at all?
I think we're always looking to add to the team. I know that's but that's the truth. I mean, we really are. We're looking to add to the team, and if we find that there's something out there that makes sense to us, then we'll look into it. All right. Thanks.
Thank you.
What's your go-to